Hey guys, so as you all know, there's a lot of fear going on in the markets right now. Markets have dropped, not just in the Philippines, but around the world. And it's not just stock markets anymore. Even commodity markets have been battered down. Look at the oil market. That being said, I want to talk about how does PAg Ibig's MP2 fare when things are bad? How will PAg Ibig's MP2 fare when there's a recession or a market crash? What will happen to it? If you want to know more about that, check this video out. Hi everyone, this is Marvin Germon. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and smash that bell so you get updated every time I create new content about investing, about the stock market, about business. And this time we're gonna talk about how does PAg Ibig's MP2 relate should a recession happen or a market crash happen. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe, like, and stay till the end of the video. Hey guys, so above and beyond me talking about what's happening in the global markets, how this fear of the coronavirus has caused markets to drop massively, what I want to share right now also is, since I've been doing a lot of videos on PAg Ibig's MP2 and you guys have been requesting for a lot of it, I want to share what's gonna happen. What happens when something bad happens to the global economy, something bad happens to the domestic economy as well. Because you have to remember this, that when bad things happen in the global economy, there might be a ripple effect also, not just to other countries, but it may ripple also to the Philippines. And as you all know already, based on what we're seeing in the news, that it's already hitting also the domestic economy as well. I've been saying this over and over and over, that the coronavirus is the fear of the coronavirus will impact the economy more than the entire virus itself. That the people being scared about it will impact the grander scheme of things, the economy, more than how it will affect or infect people as well. Because as you all know, tourism will be down for sure, transportation will be down for sure, and global trade will be down because of China for sure. And you have to understand this also for those who are following the stock market, those who follow this channel because of stocks. Please note that we have some listed companies also that have exposure to China, just like Jollibee. Jollibee has exposure to China. It has a lot of branches there. You also have to understand SM also has exposure there. You also have to understand some of the chip export companies export there. We also import stuff from China, and them being close, them having a lockdown will impact us on a trade level as well. Now, that being said, I mentioned in the previous videos that PAg Ibig MP2 is virtually guaranteed by the government. However, I'll say this right now, what is guaranteed though is your capital. Meaning, if you place 500,000 pesos, you have an assurance that the Philippine government will guarantee that 500. You place 1 million pesos, you have an assurance that your money will never go lower than a million pesos. If you place 100,000 pesos, it means that your money will never go lower than 100,000. It also means that if you place 500 pesos a month or 6,000 pesos a year for 5 years straight, it means that 6, 12, 18, 24, 30,000 pesos of your money will be guaranteed as well by the government. What's not guaranteed, and I've been saying this in a lot of the videos, is the dividends. The dividends will be dependent on the amount of money that PAg Ibig will earn off of its loans. You have to remember, the main business model of PAg Ibig is socialized housing. Meaning, if Filipinos need a house, Filipinos need to build a house, they don't have the cash, they need to take out a loan, they will get it via PAg Ibig. Now, how does the coronavirus impact everything? I'll give you an example. Philippine Airlines will be laying off jobs, or they've already laid off 300 personnel. What does that do to all of us? What if that person who is working in Philippine Airlines, who lost his or her job, is paying a PAg Ibig loan? Now, suddenly, they do not have the money because they don't have a job. They wouldn't have the money to pay off the loans anymore. So, I want you to look at this from a bigger level. If it comes to a point where, there's a larger amount of people who cannot pay off their loans, what does that mean? PAg Ibig's revenue will be lower. So think about it also. It's not just PALE. It's not just local companies. since we have a lot of OFWs abroad, and since this is a global crisis, this is something that's affecting a lot of industries around the world, a lot of sectors around the world, a lot of businesses around the world. This, if you look at it and try to analyze it well, what if those OFWs lose their jobs as well? Then they won't be able to send money. If they won't be able to send money, guess what's gonna happen? Pag-ibig will have lesser revenue as well. They might also lose their house. Please remember that. That's something very, very significant. So they will try also to, by all means, protect it. They will try by all means to be able to pay that amortization so that they can still keep the house as well. So the risk lang that I'm saying is this: if a lot of people will lose their jobs, there might be, on a larger level, a lot of people who may default on their loans. I'm saying this is a risk. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but if it happens that at scale a lot of people lose their jobs, they won't be able to pay out their loans, and if they won't be able to pay out their loans. That means Pag-ibig won't be able to collect a lot of money. If they won't be able to collect a lot of money, it also means that they'll have lesser earnings. Lesser earnings means that they will have lesser dividends. That's one. Number two, in connection to their earnings, same thing eh. If things are not so good, if there's a fear of a recession, if people are fearing that things won't get better, if people are scared that, hey, things might go from good to bad, or they might also speculate that it may go to worse also, people will skimp off buying houses. If they planned sana to buy a house June this year, if they planned to buy a house third quarter, fourth quarter this year, some of them might actually think that, hey, I might use this down payment first that I would have put in the house, and tatago ko muna because I'm scared that if I lose my job, I don't have any cash already. So it might slow down, meaning the housing market might also slow down should a recession happen, should a market crash happen as well. So should people have the fear that there's a lot of uncertainty, they might not buy houses yet, and they might not continue to take the loan, or they might not take the loan, hence it will impact Pag-ibig's earnings. So that's what I'm saying. If things go bad where it impacts jobs already, what I will watch out for is countries around the world where there's a lot of Filipinos. How does it impact the employment there? If there's a lot of Filipinos that have to go home because they lose their jobs, or in the domestic economy, what's happening to the jobs that we have here? What happens to people who lose their jobs? Are they gonna find other sources of income? Are they gonna find rackets? Are they gonna find side hustles for them to be able to supplement whatever income that was lost so they could pay the Pag-ibig? Now, if the market crashes naman, for example, the PSEI crashes, the stocks inside the PSEI would crash, mutual funds would crash, UITFs would crash, but earnings of Pag-ibig is not affected, no matter how deep, no matter how bad the market is, as long as people are paying their loans. So imagine this, as of today, as of this video, the PSEI dropped is at the 6,300 level already. So just to give you context, the PSEI was around 9,000 January 2018. Fast forward 2 years later, who would have thought that the PSEI would be at the 6,300 level? It has lost almost 1/3 of its price from where we were 2 years ago. That being said, its price movement has nothing to do with Pag-ibig's MP2. The market could crash. The PSEI could go to 5,000. The PSEI could go below 5,000. But as long as it's just the price that's changing, it's just the price that's shifting, it has no effect on Pag-ibig's MP2, and that's the advantage that I've been harping on to a lot of people who want to at least have exposure to Pag-ibig. The advantage of Pag-ibig MP2 is while the market is crashing right now, while the market is down, while the market is bearish, while the market is not going anywhere, if you have Pag-ibig MP2, you are beating the market, you are earning more. Guess what? If it gets 7+% for 2020 and the market continues to be down, meaning those who are passive, being those who are less risky, those who are risk averse, will earn more than those who are taking risks. So that's the advantage of Pag-ibig MP2 right now. When there's a lot of people who are scared, those who have Pag-ibig MP2 have at least the assurance that their investments will perform better, that their investments will do much better than UITFs, index funds, mutual funds, VULs that are laced in equity, or direct stock market investing. Because in the world of when there's a lot of uncertainty, you will see those asset classes go down, but PAg Ibig's MP2 will be relatively fixed as well. So that's the only risk I could see for PAg Ibig MP2, that the earnings of PAg Ibig won't be as good because there's a lot of uncertainty, and if there's people who won't pay their loans, or there's lesser people who will buy houses because of what we're seeing right now, their earnings might be lower. But that being said, you won't see your capital go down. You won't see the amount of money that you will earn from it go down as compared to just by going into UITF and the stock market. So I guess that's it. It just goes to show that it's nice to have a good mix of investments. It just goes to show also that you have to do you. What do I mean by that? If you are a person that's very risk averse, it doesn't make sense for you to put a large amount of money in assets that are very, very volatile, especially in times like this. People always want to earn more, but they don't think about what happens during times like this, when markets are bad, when markets drop, when things are not going better. How do you make money? How can you sleep well at night? So my greatest suggestion to all of you is you always have to do you. If you are risk averse, then put more money on investments that will give you lower yield, but will give you at least the certainty that your money will be there as well. That's why bonds are important. When I say bonds, corporate bonds, retail treasury bonds, preferred shares are very, very important, or high yield stocks that give you dividends. Then the MP2 will do very, very well. Then if you have extra money pa on top of that, your play money, your extra money, something that you don't plan to touch for a very, very long period of time, something that, like now, there's volatility that's happening, you are supposed to be okay with the volatility, and that's what you put in direct stock investing for growth. That's what you put for UITFs. That's what you put for mutual funds. It always just has to be excess money, and you always have to put it in a percentage that you can tolerate as well. So that's why diversification is important, not just for the sake of diversifying, but for the sake of, if things don't go the way you want it to go, you're supposed to be okay still. If things don't go based on how exciting things are, please remember, on a bull market, a lot of people can easily make money. When the market is moving up, zooming up, a lot of people can easily have and see returns that are very, very good, that would cause people to be so optimistic that they will buy even at greater highs. But today, when the market is down, I'll share this for people who are watching this that are into the stock market. This will test also how good you plan your finances, how also good you are in your strategy. That if you're a long-term investor, this is where the rubber hits the road, that your emotional fortitude will take precedence over whatever you're seeing around you as well. But if you cannot take it, PAg Ibig's MP2 will be a better deal for you as well. So I guess that's it for now. Links down below for all of the seminars that I have in different cities around the world, and the online courses that I have as well, and the books that I have. But I hope that you got a lot of insight from this video, and I hope that this is something that is helping you, and this is something that will push you to help you reach your goals of financial freedom. So this is Marvin Germo, pushing you to help you to study more, because at the end of the day, knowledge isn't power. What's power is knowledge applied and executed well. That's power. Continue learning, continue hustling. Marvin Germo, I hope this video helps you. Trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.